as the light for us. Okay, it's exactly what I said he can't do. It's exactly what I said he can't do.
Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast, where we talk about religion in an unconventional way. And today, it is beautiful out, a little too beautiful for November, but we're going to enjoy it. And we have two guests here with us today. This is Banjo.
And this is Apple.
And they're going to be in it until they get too overheated, and then they'll probably run away. But yeah, so we wanted to change things up. We wanted to enjoy the weather, enjoy the small things in
I don't
life.
have a mask on because we're outside.
We're outside. UV kills the COVID.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, it does.
Yeah.
But usually we're in a very low-ceilinged dungeon studio.
Breathing the same air.
Yeah. And this is, am I far enough? And this is outdoors, so I figure I'll take the mask off.
Perfect. So, what are we talking about out here in the sunlight?
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Nice.
Why not?
Why not, right? That's how many times is the sun referred to in the Bible?
He wants the croak part of the show.
Yeah, he's probably not going to stay too long.
No, this one is the bigger one, and it's the one who can't really tolerate the sun. So, put him down.
Yeah.
Yours loves the sun.
Oh, yeah, he'll be enjoying it.
Yours basks in the sun. Well, it's the sun, and it's used as an analogy all the time as the light for us. Okay, it's exactly what I said he can't do. It's exactly what I said he can't do. Just throw it over here, literally. Okay, and hopefully he won't cry about it.
Start barking.
Okay.
Technical difficulties.
This is live.
This is live. Well,
I feel like we're doing a parade commentary or
yeah. So sunlight. It's the reason why I think it's used as an analogy so much is just because the same reason we're out here today. We came out, we saw the weather, sun's beating down, you get that warm feeling of comfort, and I think it's so equatable to God. I feel like I was just rambling on while you were gone. Can't do the show alone.
Okay. Well, let that be a lesson.
Yeah, I was just saying how I feel like the reason why it's often equated to, like God and God's light and stuff is just the same reason we're out here today. You walk
You're
out
attracted to it.
and you feel that warmth on your face.
Yeah.
You feel that comfort. It's not the bitter cold where it gets into your bones.
You can really, what's the word? Relate to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can really relate to it.
What are you doing?
I was trying to take a picture of Apple because it's just so sad. He's looking at his brother. Okay, he's gone. Literally, John's like, they can't be separated, so. Okay. Everything's ruined. You're going to have to pause us. I'm getting crazy right now. Okay. The Lord lights the way. Go towards the light.
Should I put them both inside?
Yeah, put them both inside.
Alright, sorry about the technical difficulties. Both of these poppers are going inside.
I think W.C. Fields said he never wants to work with animals or children. Same difference, I say.
And puppies are a combination of both, so
yeah.
I think you would hate that.
We tried.
We did.
They can make a cameo
We did.
some other time.
All right.
The cat. We thought the cat was bad.
Yeah, fresh start. Dogs are gone. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Okay. So, when did God create the sun? Probably in the very beginning.
Let there be light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You read the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first thing, right? Like God said, "Let there be light." Yeah. And I feel like oftentimes you equate sunlight with good and darkness with bad and warmth with good, cold with bad. But I think the two are very important, right? the reason why we're appreciating, if this was a day in July,
Yeah.
we would not be saying, oh, let's do the podcast
Yeah,
outside.
right.
We have been going into November, we've been getting the cold, and then you appreciate the warmth so much
Right,
more.
that's true.
And so I think it's nice to always have, and I always talk about opposites. I'm like, if you have one, if you have warmth, you have cold. If you have heat, you have,
right.
You know, you have sunlight, you have cloudy days. And I think it's all, you need that balance to appreciate the good things and know that you're going to get through the bad things.
Right. And the light of the sun can't be replicated, really. I mean, it can in maybe a studio, Hollywood studio, but it's that kind of light that just comes from every angle, and it fills every
rooms.
dark spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ever try to block out light? If you work night work or something, and you'd be surprised, the smallest crack that you left, it just shines in. That's when you don't want it to be shining in, but...
Yeah, it's a little too much, but also too much sun, and you get the sunburn.
Well...
What does that mean spiritually?
Well, I guess it could mean you could get burned out, maybe, if you want every day. No?
I mean, I don't even know if there is a comparable thing to my spirituality, but I was just posing the question.
Sometimes I get burned out on spirituality. Literally, I tell you all the time that I say the 23rd Psalm every day, every minute. And sometimes I don't feel like it. Yeah. And I literally will say the first line, the Lord is my shepherd, and I stop. Yeah. Because I never want it to be something I don't want to do. Yeah. You know, but I know something that's tedious is the rosary. The rosary's tedious. If you're in the mood and you get into the meditativeness of it, it's okay. But, you know, as a child, when you're forced to do it and you have to do it with everybody else, you're just looking at the end, like how many more decades do we have to do it? As a matter of fact, the Pope, there's something called a rosary bouquet or something like that, right? And you say so many rosaries for a certain person or a petition. And so people were giving Pope Francis these rosary bouquets, and all you do is you say, I said 1,000 rosaries for you. And he actually said, please don't.
Oh, really?
Don't do that. Like,
use that time and do something.
It's unnecessary. Now, like I said, if it's your joy, if it's something you want to do, if it's your mantra, if it's your meditation, that's fine. But all right, so you don't want to get a sunburn.
No, yeah, I think you should, like, on a spirituality side, it shouldn't be too much looking at it as, oh, wait, so what does the sunburn mean in spirituality? I think it just equates to the power, right? Like, the power of the sun. You know, in Egyptian cultures and stuff, they treat it as a god, like the sun god Ra. And it's just because of the power, the sheer power, but then the providing elements of life. And so I think it equates to God, where it's like, you can't comprehend, like, he's so powerful. In the early Testament, you see people, even if it's like an angel or God speak to them, they fall on their faces because they literally can't. No, just like you can't look at the sun.
That's
it's
right.
Like,
that's right.
That, like, the sun right there is what makes me. I would not be alive if that sun was not there. Right. And so I'm very appreciative towards the sun, and it's not like, oh, shield your face. Yeah. Shield, because I think that's like a lot of people like took the Old Testament as like this. Oh, like they were afraid of God. They were cowering away. Right. But it's literally the same as, like, I can't look at the sun. Like I physically can't. But I still, like, it still does all these things for me, because at the end of the day, it provides this warmth, it provides light, all these things, and it's the same as God. It's like, or like, I obviously don't mean, you know, you can't. I'm saying how people would fall on their faces. I think it was that same way. It's like something that has so much power, yet is providing life and imagine,
you know, the sun is all we have to compare God to, but imagine how much brighter than
exactly.
than the sun he is.
That is a, well, not earthly, but that is an object, a thing that we can understand on Earth.
Yeah.
And yeah.
This morning, I was reading one of the lines, and it's well known. Beneath the shadow of your wings, I will rejoice.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it even before we decided this, and I was thinking, usually you don't want to be in the shadow.
Yeah.
You want to come out of the shadow and everything. But if it's the shadow of his wings, it's probably like already so incredibly bright.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's literally protecting you from just what you just talked about, that you can't be so close or be so, I don't want to say so close because that sounds like he's separate from us. But
yeah.
it's just the goodness is unfathomable.
Exactly. And it's just bellowing out, like the sun bellows out heat. You can just, now that I'm thinking of it, I wish I had paid more attention in all my classes over at Bryn Athyn, because they did talk a lot about the comparison of the sun and God in one of my classes, at least. I don't know if it was like actual theology, but it was just talking about how warmth equates love. And so the same
you get a warm feeling inside.
The same way you always, like, when the sun is just beckoning down on you with warmth, it's the way God, like, beckons down on you with love. And that's a nice feeling, you know?
Yeah.
And also, you can hide from the sun, you know? You can go inside.
Yeah.
You can just only come out at night. And it's the same way with spirituality. It's like, although light shines down on everything, you can hide from it. And I think it's important that people are spiritually sunbathing, if you will. You know, if it's for 30 minutes, just like, you know what it is, vitamin D? This is vitamin J, vitamin God, okay?
That's a good one.
People, you know, you work, you're inside a place, you come home, you stay up all night, and you're not getting any of that vitamin D. And, you know, it's not good for your body. Now, your spiritual body, what you need is vitamin G, okay? So, you're at work, you're inside all day and stuff. Go out and get that spiritual sun. Let that spiritual love shine down on you.
And you do. I mean, for me, I find it happens a lot with music. When I hear hymns or just even modern music, but different musics, they put sunshine. Others would be on your face. Yeah, there we go. It puts sunshine in my heart because I feel warm. I feel happy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm, you know, my insides have.
Yeah, no, I like this now that I've got it. It always takes me about 10 minutes to get it, and then I have it all figured out. And for, you know, so yeah, God's love is like the sun's warmth.
Yeah.
And there will be times when you go through a spiritual winter, you know? It's like you're like, where is it? You're asking God, like, oh, he's not answering my prayers, blah, blah, blah. Just know you're in the winter and spring's coming around. Like,
well, that's true,
and that's the great thing about seasons is, you know, look at a tree, you see all of its leaves die, and then it's like...
Right, what we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, death is surrounding me. Just know that those leaves are going to be growing again.
Oh, yeah.
And so, when it comes to spirituality, it's the same way as the sun. Like, in the coldest time, it means that it's only going up from there. You're only going to start getting warmer.
Just think about nighttime, you know? And if you get scared or spooked or something, it's you just want the sun won't even rise, you know, say till 7, but the sky starts brightening long before that because the sun is so bright.
Yeah.
But you just want that. You just want it to change from the darkest part of the morning to when the sky starts to change. And yeah, definitely, it's a great analogy.
Yeah, you'll have cloudy days sometimes, but the sun's always there.
It's always there.
It's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, even if you don't feel it. Like, that's what I talked about reading the Word of God. If you don't understand it, or if you're just reading it and you might understand it, but you don't have a chance yet to meditate on it, you're still being warmed by it.
Yeah, you're still getting that vitamin D.
Yeah, because I'm sure you've gotten sunburned in cloudy days before.
Yeah.
When you thought
the clouds were shining, but those UV lights were coming through.
Yeah. So I think that especially with the Word of God, that if you read it, you're benefiting from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, your brother, a different brother than the other brother that I referred to the other day, he's a gardener.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see, but down there he has vegetables more than flowers. But anyway, what would a garden be without
sunlight? Nothing. Maybe potatoes or...
It's the food. I'm guessing... I wonder... Yeah, well, mushrooms can grow without... I was trying to think what could grow without absolutely any light.
Yeah.
We do live by the mushroom capital of the world. Just want to give a shout out to Kennett Square. They have these cement buildings there.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. They grow mushrooms. But anyway, we're talking about plants, trees, flowers, chlorophyll, photosynthesis. Just feeding all these beautiful... Well, the fact that leaves are changing is because they're pulling in the sun. And we're flowers. We need our sun.
We do.
And the other day we covered water.
We did.
We have to cover fertilizer next now.
Shelter.
Shelter. They don't need shelter.
Well, humans do.
Oh, I thought you meant flowers. Yeah, so the son that SON of mine, who gardens. So now we are going towards winter.
We are.
And
It doesn't feel like it though.
So he was worried about some of his peppers and things. So he bought a little grow tent with a grow light. Because he's preparing, because he knows there's a time coming where it's going to be harder for his little plants to get the sun they need. So I guess there's times in our lives that we should prepare ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be as easy as listening to a hymn or just, attending a service.
Yeah. I always say that. I always say
Do
that. Yeah. I get into cycles of motivation, even ups and downs and ups and downs. And sometimes when I'm on my upside of motivation, I start biting off way more than I can chew because I have that energy. Mm-hmm. I have that, and people are like, "You're doing way too much." And I'm like, I know I'm doing way too much. But then when I go back down, I'm like, I don't feel like doing as much. If I'm doing 10 things, I might stop doing 5 of them, and then I'm still doing 5 things. It's like it's like I'm putting on extra, and I think it's the same way. If you go, you should be. If you are feeling
definitely, if you are feeling it,
take it on. And then once I go, you can pray 6 times a day.
Yeah.
If you want, this is all
about.
No,
remember, you can pray from 8 to 4.
Yeah,
that was my recommendation.
You can pray from 8 to 4, and then when you do go into those lows, into those spiritual winters, you're like, oh, I'm only praying once a day now, but that's great. Like, you don't want to be praying once a day at your highs and then just forgetting about anything spiritual in your lows. Do more than, what is it? Shoot for the stars and you'll land in the clouds?
Yeah, something like that.
Shoot for the sun and you'll land somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close to it. So, definitely. I saw the fattest squirrel yesterday.
That's probably because days like these, it's like they keep trying to go to hibernate and they're like, I guess I'll take one more food trip out. One more grocery run.
Fattest squirrel. And I said, look at him. He's preparing himself for when he can't get any food. And so we definitely should do that. You say prayers and you just get them in your mind, just so they're there, easy, accessible. And you can reach for them when you need them. And definitely in my life you talked about ebbs and flows, and I've had times where I'm praying before every piece of food I put in my mouth, and I'm praying the psalm, and I'm praying in the shower, and I'm praying when I'm driving. And I'm like, wow, I'm fantastic because it's so easy and it's just happening and it's flowing. And then one day, all of a sudden, you don't know when it drops off.
Yeah.
And one day I'll go, I haven't said anything for a while.
Yeah.
And so then you just do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just keep a lot of things on your back burner.
Mm-hmm.
But
get it there and just so you can reach for it and you feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I used to follow the prayers that I was taught, that someone else wrote. Mm-hmm. And then I fell out of it. And then when I tried to remember them, I really couldn't. You would hesitate, you stutter. When my dad was dying, he was looking for those prayers that he had learned as a child, and he would say, what is the glory be? You know, what is it? For me to tell him, I didn't know. And but he was reaching for those. I used to do that, and then I would try to remember. I couldn't. And then I said, well, you can just make up your own prayer, right? But I still stuttered because I thought I was trying to sound like someone else.
Yeah.
May the Lord grace us all with, you know, and it was not natural.
Yeah.
And I was stuttering with it. And so it is good to practice all the time because you're going to fall into an area that you like.
Yeah.
And so that you
find your groove.
Yeah, so that you can just, how you want to talk to God.
Yeah.
And like anything, it's just better you do it frequently.
Yeah, look at just talking to a person. Imagine just running into a person you knew 10 years ago, and it's all like formal, like, oh, how's everything? Oh, you know, opposed to someone you talk to every day.
Right.
And it's real casual.
Right.
You can talk about personal things, like, oh, this just happened. This person said this thing.
Yeah.
Are you gonna run into someone you haven't seen in 10 years? Is like, can have that comfortability. It's not like, once again, not saying if you haven't prayed in a long time, you don't have to. But it's just like, it's good to keep up, like with anything. The more you do something or talk to someone frequently, the more comfortable it gets and the more deep it gets.
Right.
And it's like you can talk about like little things because it's, and also, okay, see you again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Catching up.
Yeah. It's good to take a day like this, close your eyes, feel the sun, try to really make a sensory memory out of it. Because even if you don't live in a place that gets winter, you know, if you live in California or Mexico or something, there's different times that you'll be cold, you know. Literally, if you notice, I have a jacket on for all our podcasts. That's in the house. I'm outside now. I don't have a jacket on. And you could just take yourself back to that time. Yeah. And you can remember everything about what it felt like. So any of these things that you can put into your memory so you can reach them at a time where you don't have the physical ability to walk outside or be on your beach or be on your terrace or whatever.
Yeah, the body's a funny thing of how it remembers things. Like, as soon as there's a little crisp in the air, you immediately are flooded with these memories of years past in like the fall and bonfires, and same with like coming out of like say March. You might like there's a little warmth, and then you have all these flooding things of this, and so make as much of them as you can, especially you know, if you love the cold, you love winter, that's fine. But if you are someone who enjoys warmth and summer, you want to appreciate it, and so when you do get it, make the most of it and try to just act like and you know, because a lot of people they'll walk around, it's like, oh, it's like the weather is just a whatever thing, but if there's a weather you truly enjoy. I said the
other day that, you know, your brother loves dark rainy days, and that's his, you know, journey, but man cannot live by bread alone. And even though he loves those days, he certainly loves warm
and and once days. Again, it's always good to have opposites. If it rained every single day, he lived in like the rainforest. It'd be nothing, but it's a nice break to the regular days and just downpour. The sounds and the feeling in the air. It's all enjoyable. So. Now,
I just had a thought that the sun is beautiful. If you, I think all my kids were jaundiced when they were born, and jaundiced,
like our livers.
Yeah, when you're born, you get a little extra jaundice. You get a little
My
extra.
Eyes were yellow?
You were yellow.
Ooh.
Not terribly.
Is that normal?
Yeah, most because something happens like circulating when they're born. You get a little jaundice when you're born. You actually don't look yellow. You kind of look like you have a tan.
Oh,
like nice. People will say like, "Oh, he has a nice complexion," and it's like he's jaundiced. You're literally the doctor recommends you put him in the sun.
Ah.
And so like for my winter babies, I'd put them in the window.
Yeah.
You know. But so it could be that gentle, right, to help a brand new baby, the most delicate thing in the world, to get stronger. But what I was just thinking of was it could be also dangerous when you take a magnifying glass and you concentrate it to burn a hole in something. Yeah. So is that good or bad? Is that using the sun for bad? You know, we're saying sun as an analogy. Mm-hmm. Is that when you're using it for bad, or is it just when you're so spiritual that you can hurt that?
I think it's using it for bad. And I mean, how many times now have we talked about this where you have power, you have the ability to manipulate that power. Mm-hmm. We talked about with water and the flooding. Right. We talked about it with just religion and evangelism. Mm-hmm. All these things. The sun's no different. You know, where there is so much good and power and the warmth and the ability to give light, you can use that power. Yeah. In damaging ways. Yeah. It's powerful enough. Just like water, same way if you want to make a comparison to sunburn, this isn't extremer than that, but with water, that is another essential thing to life. You can drown. Yeah. And is water evil? Is a sun evil for being able to be turned into fire?
Or even you're making me think now of a desert where it dehydrates you and you can't go forward. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the answer is no. It's just there is these opposites, or where there is power, there is the ability for that power to go awry, and it's the same as anything else. And so you just need to be careful,
right? And just know the power in everything. Really, I guess when people say respect everything, you kind of really think it's benign. You think it's oh, hello, little rabbit. Hello, but no, the power of nature, the power of creation, the power of other people. A person could say one word to you and it affects you so bad. So it's...
And the person could you can say one word to a person, it affects them so good. Yeah, yeah. They remember it for the rest of their life. Yeah. And so, I think, God made us these powerful people in a powerful world, all as representation of Him, Yeah. And it's just about using the power in the right way. Right. You have the ability to say one word to someone and make them think a bad thing, but that's also because you have the ability to do a good thing, so... Try to say more good things than you do bad things, and I think you'll be all right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you already said it, but the leaves changing and turning, and it gives us hope that spring comes. But just imagine every single day we get to see the sun come back up.
Yeah, it's a cycle on a major scale. Yeah. Where I said you're in a spiritual winter, but it's also on a daily scale. Where the sun goes up, the sun goes down. Don't cry that it's going down, because I can almost guarantee, I can actually guarantee actually that it will come back up again. Yeah. And I think that just goes to any trials or tribulations one goes through the sun will come up again. The sun will come out.
Oh my God, not that.
Tomorrow. No. Bet your bottom dollar.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just wonderful. And
what's your favorite summertime activity to do in the sun? Has to be sun related.
Has to be sun related?
You can't just say, oh, I like...
well, what's sun related?
Outdoors.
Reading a sundial?
No, outdoors. It can't just be I like eating... I don't know. Anything. Okay, just a summer activity.
You go then, and then I'll...
Well, I didn't think of it yet, because I was too busy talking while you were thinking.
Is there a bee on me?
No.
I just love all of it. Do you love sunsets or sunrises?
I love sunrises. I'm a morning person.
I love sunrises too. Everybody loves sunsets.
That's because they can't wake up.
Look, I think they might be prettier. Okay? Because everyone, what do you post on Instagram? Sunsets. And all the beautiful sunsets. And each place says only in, and they fill in the blank. Only in Hawaii. Only in San Diego.
It's everywhere.
Everyone has, it's hard. It's hard to see it, but you can still find good sunsets here. Everywhere. It's the same sky. It's the same sun. But I love sunrises. I do like unobstructed view. I used to love sunrises on the beach.
Yeah.
And that was
I also might be biased just because over here on the beach, the sun rises from the east and sets in the west.
Right.
Maybe if I was in California, I would like sunsets
better.
Well,
when we were in Spain, that was unusual to me because the sun was setting on the ocean, and I was like, "What's going on?" But no, I like sunrises better. I love sunrises actually. I have some good memories of driving very early in the morning, making deliveries.
Yeah.
And you would get to see this, and like, you know, it's cool, like when you're driving and it's in your side view mirror, and you can see behind you, and it just gets like, then it kind of disappears. It doesn't disappear, but you don't get to see the. And the other thing is, which I find so interesting, is how fast it rises and sets.
Yeah, you're literally watching it.
You're watching it, but yet
it goes that slow the entire way. But you can't notice it because you don't have that.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So watching sunrises is your favorite summer activity?
I love watching sunrise. Yeah, because winter, you'd be more likely to get a chance to see a sunrise, I guess, in the summer.
Yeah, why does no one talk about sunrises or sunsets in the winter? Like, they're there.
Yeah, they are. I don't know.
Are they, like, not as pretty? Like, I'm saying if you were on the beach. I know no one goes to the beach in the winter, really, but if you did.
Maybe the sky's different. You know how sometimes the sky is very, like... Grayish, yeah. I don't know.
Well, speaking of the beach, that's my favorite summer activity. I love me the beach. The sand, the water, the chicks, the boats, the boogie boards. Give me that on a hot summer day. Love it.
I'm more of a forest person than
cabin.
Yeah, than a beach. I love babbling brooks. Mm-hmm. I love sunlight through trees. The way the different things, how it changes everything. And the bad thing about forests is, so if you're at the beach, you can be at the beach until sunset, right? In the woods,
the night is just as good.
It's so dark. Yeah. But no, it gets so dark so quick.
Because the trees?
Because the trees, the canopy of the trees, you're in there, it's getting so dark. When you come out, you're like, oh, it wasn't that dark.
Yeah.
But it gets so much darker quicker, which you think I wouldn't like that. But I'm more of a woods person than a beach person.
I can see that. I enjoy woods here and there, but I like woods in the winter, actually. Like
definitely. Less bugs.
Like a trip to the mountains, snowboard in the day, and cabin and being in the woods at night.
Yeah.
Like I think why I like the beach is because I love the summer and the sun so much that it's like, how much more of it could you get there?
Yeah.
It bouncing off the water, it beating up the sand. It's like, you are not able to get away from it, and it's just like a punch in the face by the sun. It's like,
yeah, the beach beats the woods back for the bugs.
Yeah. Except if you go south and then you get those the biting flies,
the bottle flies, and brigantine.
Don't like those.
So I love it. It helps you. I want to get to a place in my life and in my religious meditation where I can feel as close to God and nature in the middle of a dirty street next to a dumpster as I can watching a sunset on the beach. I'm a billion miles away from that happening, but I have this weird goal in my mind that I think it can happen, and we'll see.
It's like I want to be able to feel the warmth of the sun on a colder day. It's like,
bring it with you.
Yeah. And like, it's possible. Like, the sun is still shining down, right?
Yeah.
It's just harder to notice it. Like, you would notice if the sun went away in the winter. Mm-hmm. You think it's cold in the winter, but I promise you, by like 100 degrees, you would notice.
Yeah.
If the sun just up and disappeared.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of understanding that. I don't know how much of it is like a physically feeling it, or more of just like an understanding that there is still warmth there. But
yeah, it's the kindest thing to be able to do. I mean, that's why they say, like, it's cruel to be in a windowless room, like if you have a job.
Yeah.
Or if there's an old person, if you could just roll them outside on their wheelchair just for a few minutes. And I don't even like to think about solitary confinement in prisons because it really breaks my heart. And, you know, just for them to be in the yard for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's God's son and it's God's child. And yes, they're being punished. But I think to deprive somebody of the sun.
Yeah, it's one thing to physically confine someone. Like you've made physical mistakes. We're going to physically put you in confinement. But to mentally and spiritually confine someone, I think that's where, you know, that's where you start playing God. It's like,
yeah, I think that should be right up there with we you know, you wouldn't deprive somebody of water. Yeah. You wouldn't deprive somebody of oxygen. Yeah. I don't think you should be deprived of sunlight. First of all, I don't think it's your place. Yeah. And second of all, it's free. And it's very rejuvenating. Yeah.
It is. It's necessary. Where would we be without sunlight?
We wouldn't.
Yeah.
No.
But I love sunlight.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a shorter podcast today because as much as I love it, it's cooking up my eyeballs.
But we're also losing it because when we started, it was on the animals.
Yeah, it's all the way up to our necks.
Here, and it's going, whoop, right, it's going to
So while our faces are still in it.
Yes, and we're still
just remember,
eliminated.
Get your vitamin D.
G.
I was going to say that.
All right, start again.
Just remember, get your vitamin D, but more importantly, get your vitamin G. All right, y'all. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. We'll be back. Inside, probably.
Yeah, probably.
A little less sunlight to the disappointment of both us and you.
But we'll remember this.
But we'll cherish this, and we'll hold it with us.
Yeah.
And even though you won't see sunlight in the next episode, it'll be there. All right, y'all. Peace.